Hello, everyone, and thank you for taking the time to listen to my presentation. My name is Shauna Arps, and today I'll be discussing my cultural background and how it has shaped my identity, values, and future role as a professional counselor. Preparing this presentation encouraged me to reflect on the experiences that have influenced who I am today. Before beginning my counseling program, I knew that culture affected people's lives, but I did not fully appreciate just how much our upbringing influences the way we think, communicate, build relationships, and respond to challenges. Culture is much more than race or ethnicity. It includes our family traditions, faith, community, socioeconomic background, communication style, values, and life experiences. All of these factors shape how we see ourselves and how we interact with others. As counselors, it is important to understand our own cultural identities before helping clients explore theirs. Self awareness allows us to recognize personal bias, avoid making assumptions, and build stronger therapeutic relationships. Throughout this presentation, I will discuss the strengths of my culture, areas where I believe growth is still needed, stereotypes that affect my community, and how these experiences will influence my counseling practice. First, let's talk about communication styles of my culture. Growing up in an African American Baptist working class family in East Texas had a tremendous influence on how I communicate with others. One thing that stands out most is the importance of storytelling. Instead of simply giving advice, my parents, grandparents, and other family members often shared personal stories about challenges they had experienced. Those stories taught lessons about faith, responsibility, perseverance, and treating people with respect. Respect for elders was another important part of our family culture. We were taught to listen carefully, avoid interrupting, and value the wisdom that older family members shared with us. Those lessons continue to influence how I interact with people today. Nonverbal communication was equally meaningful. Hugs, smiles, handshakes, and comforting touches were common expressions of love and support. Our church community also reinforced kindness, encouragement, and compassion. Those interactions taught me that communication is about much more than words. It also involves how we make people feel. As I prepare to become a counselor, I understand that not everyone communicates in the same way. Some clients may prefer direct conversation while others may communicate through silence, emotions, or body language. Because of that, I want to remain flexible and ask clients what feels most comfortable for them instead of assuming my communication styles works for everyone. Sue and colleagues remind us that culturally responsive counselors adapt their communication to meet the needs of each individual client rather than expecting clients to adjust to the counselor's style. That idea will continue to guide my professional development. Okay, talking about aspects of my culture I am proud of. There are many things about my culture that I deeply appreciate and hope to carry into my counseling career. One of the greatest strengths is the importance of family. Growing up, Sunday dinners, church services, holiday celebrations, and family reunions were more than traditions. They were opportunities to stay connected, to support one another, and to strengthen our relationships. Those experiences taught me that healing often happens within supportive relationships. Another strength is resilience. Throughout history, African American communities have overcome significant obstacles while continuing to demonstrate hope, perseverance, and determination. My own family taught me that challenges do not define who we are. Instead, they become opportunities for growth and strength. My Baptist faith has also had a significant impact on my life. My faith taught me compassion, forgiveness, humility, and the importance of serving others. Those values align closely with the counseling profession because counselors strive to treat every client with dignity, empathy, and unconditional positive regard. Finally, I value the sense of community that surrounded me throughout my childhood. Whether it was church members checking on one another, neighbors offering support, or extended family coming together during difficult times, I learned that people heal best when they feel connected. As a counselor, I hope to help clients recognize these same strengths within themselves. Every individual has unique abilities, supportive relationships, and personal resources that can become part of the healing process. Rather than focusing only on problems, I want to help clients discover the resilience they already possess. Now that I've discussed the strengths of my cultural background, I'd like to talk about areas where I believe continued growth is important, both within my community and for me personally as I continue developing as a future counselor. Aspects of my culture I would like to improve upon. Although I am proud of many aspects of my cultural background, I also recognize that no culture is perfect. Every community has opportunities to grow, and I believe acknowledging those areas is an important part of self awareness. One area I would like to see continue to improve is how mental health is viewed within my community. While attitudes have become more positive over the years, some people still believe counseling should only be considered after a major crisis. Growing up, I noticed that emotional struggles were sometimes handled privately through prayer, family support, or simply trying to push through difficult situations. While those sources of support are valuable, they should not replace professional help when someone is struggling with anxiety, depression, trauma, or other mental health concerns. I would also like to see more open conversations about emotional wellness. Many people feel pressure to appear strong even when they are hurting. That expectation can make it difficult for individuals to ask for help because they fear being judged or misunderstood. I believe strength includes recognizing when support is needed and taking healthy steps towards healing. As a future counselor, I hope to help reduce the stigma by educating clients and communities about the benefits of counseling. Seeking help should be viewed as a sign of courage and self-awareness rather than weakness. By encouraging early intervention, promoting mental wellness, counselors can help individuals and families build healthier lives before problems become overwhelming. Another important topic to discuss is the stereotypes that continue to affect African American communities. Unfortunately, many of these stereotypes have existed for generations and are often reinforced through media, social media, or misinformation. For example, African Americans are sometimes unfairly portrayed as aggressive, less intelligent, or more likely to engage in criminal behavior. These stereotypes are inaccurate and ignore the diversity, achievements, and strengths that exist within the community. They can also affect opportunities in education, employment, healthcare, and even mental health treatment. Experiencing discrimination or constantly feeling misunderstood can create stress, anxiety, and mistrust. Some individuals may hesitate to seek counseling because they worry they will be judged or misunderstood by helping professionals. As counselors, we have an ethical responsibility to recognize how racism and discrimination influence a person's mental health without making assumptions about their individual experiences. Every client's story is unique. Rather than relying on stereotypes, counselors should approach each person with curiosity, empathy, and respect. Building trust with listening begins with listening carefully and allowing clients to define their own experiences instead of assuming we already understand them. Stereotypes held within my culture. So, in addition to stereotypes from outside society, there are also beliefs that sometimes exist within my own community. These messages are often passed from generation to generation and may influence how people see themselves or others. One example involves the traditional gender roles. Growing up, I sometimes heard that men should always be the providers and women should naturally take on caregiving responsibilities. While these roles may work well for some families, they do not reflect everyone's goals, values, or life circumstances. Every individual deserves the opportunity to define success in a way that is meaningful for them. Another common message is that people should always appear strong, regardless of what they are experiencing emotionally. This belief can discourage honest conversations about grief, anxiety, depression, or trauma because individuals may worry about being viewed as weak. As a result, many people delay seeking support until their struggles become overwhelming. As a future counselor, I want to create a safe environment where clients feel comfortable exploring these beliefs without fear of judgment. Counseling should help people identify which beliefs continue to support their well-being and which beliefs may no longer be serving them. My goal is to empower clients to make decisions that align with their own values while respecting the cultural influences that have shaped their lives. So after discussing stereotypes, I'd like to talk about another topic that is important within my communities, including my own, and that is how substance use is viewed and how those beliefs have influenced my understandings of addiction and recovery. So going into how my culture perceives substance abuse. Okay, I would like to discuss how my cultural background has influenced my understandings of substance abuse. Growing up, alcohol was sometimes present during family gatherings, holiday celebrations, and special occasions. However, excessive drinking or substance misuse was generally discouraged. My Baptist upbringing emphasized taking care of both the body and mind, and those teachings encouraged moderation, responsibility, and making healthy choices. As I have progressed through this counseling program, I have learned that substance use disorders are much more complex than I once realized. Addiction is not simply a lack of willpower or poor decision making. Instead, it is influenced by biological, psychological, social, cultural, and environmental factors. Trauma, stresses, family histories, and access to resources can all affect a person's relationship with substances. This new understanding has changed how I view individuals who struggle with addiction. Instead of focusing on judgment, I now recognize the importance of empathy and evidence-based treatment. Every client has a unique story, and every counselor begins by listening without assumptions. As a future counselor, I want to provide a safe environment where clients feel respected regardless of their history with alcohol or drugs. How my cultural background influences counseling practice. As I conclude my presentation, I'd like to reflect on how my cultural background will influence the counselor I hope to become. Growing up in a close-knit African American family taught me the importance of compassion, resilience, respect, faith, and strong relationships. These values will help me build trust with clients who share similar backgrounds at the same time. I recognize that people from the same culture may have completely different life experiences. Because that, I must avoid assuming that my experiences are the same as those of my clients. When working with clients from different cultures, I will practice cultural humility by remaining open, curious, and willing to learn. I want every client to feel respected regardless of their race, ethnicity, religion, gender identity, socioeconomic status, or life experiences. The GCU counselor dispositional expectations, including acceptance, flexibility, self-awareness, and professionalism, will continue to guide my interactions with clients. These values remind me that effective counseling begins with respect generally about another person's experiences. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Reflecting on my own cultural background has strengthened my understandings of how personal experiences influence both counselors and clients. This assignment has reminded me that self-awareness is an ongoing process, and I believe it is one of the most important qualities a counselor can develop. As I continue my journey towards becoming a licensed professional counselor, I hope to provide compassionate, culturally responsive, and ethical care that empowers clients to achieve their goals while honoring unique identities and lived experiences. Thank you.